Welcome to this daily guided meditation practice. This is the Attentive Mind. My name is Nathan, and I'll be guiding you through this meditation practice today. Take a moment to just become oriented with this moment. Notice what's here and now. You may notice the sound of the refrigerator. Maybe the noise is outside your window. You might notice the temperature of the air in the room, the way it smells. You may notice how your body feels. Maybe there's tinglings of anxiety or a kind of melancholy deep in the chest. Maybe just a neutralness. There's no trick or technique here. We're just noticing what we notice. Right here. We're not gaining anything here. Not achieving. We're not even learning in the usual way. Just notice this moment just as it is, for no reason at all. And you may also notice that you're breathing. That there's a gentle rhythm of the breath. that's been happening all day without your knowledge. Now bring your attention away from just this moment in general and begin to rest with the breath. Wherever works for you. You can feel it in the lower belly or the tip of the nose or in the chest. Just notice the breath. Watch it go in and out. And when you notice that you've gotten distracted, thinking about something, gently return back to the breath. In and out. Now notice how it feels that you are paying attention to the breath from someplace above the breath. A place that is a little bit distant from breathing. Maybe you feel to be somewhere behind your eyes, looking down at the breath. Now let's start to pay attention to this place, this kind of place from which we feel to be. Now something easy is to notice the breath. It's very simple, isn't it? There it is, going in and out. Now, in the same way, what about the place we are aware of the breath from? Is that place easily seen? Can it be grasped and understood? Do you notice how immediately, when you direct attention towards that place from which you notice the breath and my voice, there's this kind of frustration or a lack of clarity, kind of a block, a non-seeing, a non-finding. And we'll just do this again. Where is this place from which you notice my voice? Really? And what's looking for it? Turn attention back. Where does it come from? Can it be found in the same way that the breath can be found? And again, you may notice this not findingness, this don't know. Remain as that. Stay there and completely rest. What did you discover? when I first met my teacher, I call him my teacher. Really, I'm not in much contact with him anymore. But the guy that showed me how to practice, when I met him, his name's Hyungak Sunim. I moved to Germany to see him, and my first encounter with him, sitting in front of him, and he's kind of in a crowd, and we're all sitting, and I've read a lot about Zen. I read a lot about, enlightenment experiences and all this stuff. Kind of had the smorgasbord of spiritual, of spirituality, really, of this project of waking up or becoming enlightened. And I've always heard about Zen masters looking at you and being like, "What are you?" And I'll be like, "Oh," and if I could just get that moment, then I'll wake up. Just like all the stories. I don't know if you're familiar with all that stuff, but anyway, so I kind of wanted to coerce him into doing that to me. So he was talking about, I can't actually remember what he was talking about. The nature of practice or the nature of mind. And I looked at him and I raised my hand and I said, if we, what was the question? Oh yeah, I said, if there's nothing there, like if there's no person thinking, then what am I? Knowing that he would do this thing. And of course he said, yeah, if there's nobody there, then what are you? Or who are you? And he said, what are you? Did that same thing. And just big blue eyes looking at me. And when he said that, no fireworks. Nothing special happened. Who are you? So I just answered him. I don't know. When I look, I don't see anything. But that's always been the case, and it's never been interesting to me. But then he said, stay there. Then I was like, oh. It just kind of became very clear all of a sudden. And what became clear was, so horrible to put into words, but was the construct, the kind of mental image I had of me, of this kind of Nathan person going around, striving for goals. And that is just thinking. That is just this kind of flimsy concept. It's kind of this self-perpetuated, repeated belief. Because when you look and there's nothing to see, right? Like you should be behind your eyes. You should be there. We all feel to be there. We all feel to be kind of behind our eyes and between our ears, and the rest of our body's kind of down here, and I'm up here, my toes further away than my ear is somehow. So I'm closer, I'm somewhere in here, not really down here, right? We all feel that. You can dip your toes in the water, but if you go put your face in the water, it feels different because you feel like that's closer to you somehow. And so hearing that, when we look for that, when we look for, okay, I feel to be up here, well, is that seeable? Is that itself findable? Nothing spooky, nothing spiritual. Just, is that place findable? Like I can look at this, I'm looking at a camera. Really I'm looking at you, but it's a camera to me, okay? And I can look at this, it's a bowl. There's an object, I can find it, I can see it. Here's another thing, I can see it. Perfect. Okay, what about the body stuff? I can feel, I can notice my breath. I can notice my foot. Okay, what about the thing noticing it? Can that be noticed? That's simple. And Sunim, we call him Sunim, he would go like, when you turn back, what am I? Your thoughts. He would do this. Your thoughts can't go there. What am I? What hears this? What's watching this video? Immediately, it's just like this turn, and you're like, ah. But wait a minute, I gotta start talking about things. Okay, look again. No, that can't be it. That's boring. right there. And this, when it was this, when I looked, nothing to see, I don't know, stay there. Because a lot of times we look and we see there's nothing to really see, and then we're like, well, that's kind of, then we go back and start talking about it. Oh, that's stupid, that doesn't make sense. Or, oh, that's great, I figured it out. Or whatever it is. But just remaining as this, what we already are. And then then you can just see kind of this, this world story that we have. All the, all the things we consider me was always just thinking. And what's really here, this moment, right now, nothing special. The same you that goes to the bank, the same you that does the dishes. That's it. It's that ordinary. But totally not the story of that. So that changed everything for me. That was my first interaction with the guy. Then I go on to do retreats with him, but yeah, that was a very big shift. And so when in our practice today, when I ask you to just kind of look for that, just you don't need to imagine it. You don't need to just, like, it's so simple. You can feel your foot, you can feel the breath. What notices that? Just turn it back. Right here. And in that kind of, if you just stay, it sounds so silly to put in words, but when you just stay, and there's no staying either, because it's already you, You can't take one step closer to yourself. But you can be yourself. You don't have to be a story that is made up. Which you can't be anyway. It's just thinking. It's just words in the mind. And what you are is what sees it. And what sees it isn't anything. So, practice is important. And this is why we do this. Because when we can see through that kind of illusion, then you're not so bogged down by the unnecessary suffering of life, the unnecessary struggle. And it's just unnecessary. And it comes from this idea and this belief of a separate me, this dual life of a me over here and a you over there. That can be seen through. So, thank you for your time today. And of course, if you have any questions about what I talk about here, any comments, please post below. I answer all questions in separate Q&As. And and if you have any comments, please let me know. I'd love to hear it. Thank you for your time, your attention, and as always, I'll see you tomorrow.